On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 1, and the motion is agreed to.
The motion is agreed to.
A bipartisan panel of senators passed out of committee Senator Rand Paul's bill, which would increase executive branch oversight of life science research with pandemic-causing abilities, a measure inspired by the research conducted in Wuhan, China, prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee passed the Risky Research Review Act by a vote of 8-1 in what Paul characterized as a bipartisan compromise.
1 million Americans died from COVID. Well, we'll never know whether it came from nature or from a lab. Virtually every scientist in the country now believes that it's possible that it could have come from the lab. Some think unlikely, but almost every scientist thinks that it's a possibility.
Although the origin of SARS-CoV-2 has remained hotly debated in the scientific community, the pandemic has revived decades-old debate over what is known as gain-of-function pathogen research. Gain-of-function research is any type of genetic manipulation of a pathogen that gives the disease either the capacity to infect a host in different ways or make the disease spread more easily. Paul introduced a bill that, if passed, would create the Life Sciences Research Security Board with 9 members appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate.
But it'll be that extra layer of protection to try to make sure something like a lab leak that could kill half of our population doesn't happen.
The bill would restrain agencies from providing federal funding for high-risk life sciences research without approval from the board. There has been strong support from both parties in both chambers of Congress for increasing oversight of dangerous research. Critics of Paul's bill have been concerned that the board will slow critical research needed for the prevention of naturally emerging disease outbreaks.
Chairman Peters and I have worked to try to narrow the focus so it doesn't look at everything. We don't want to slow down research in our country. I think it'll get to the point where it only looks at maybe dozens of research proposals out of tens of thousands.
It is unclear when Paul's bill will reach the full Senate floor for a vote.